Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton, wrapped in plush white bathrobes, will reiterate this storytelling point over and over again during a vulnerable, sprawling conversation in a stately Istanbul hotel suite that's nice enough to make one consider a career in academia. In most stories, the ability to suddenly get your heart's desire with a wish comes as good news, at least at first. He tries to convince her otherwise by telling fantastical stories from his past, spanning some 3,000 years, and all the times he was sent back to the bottle for caring too much about the wisher, from Sheba, a Lagam, to a servant who longs for a prince, Gultan, East Yaxel, and finally child bride of an old merchant who desires knowledge, Zephyr, Burku Goljitar. These stories are enchanting, brutal, sensual, grotesque and often involve power struggles and irrational decisions made for love. It's a nice reminder that Miller is a man who can tackle both Mad Max, Fury Road and Babe Pig in the City. At times, you may grow impatient wondering what it's all building towards, and if you even care, as Alithea doubles down on her stance that she'd rather not make any wishes at all. But she and the audience are in for a surprise. It's the kind of moment that doesn't make a lot of emotional sense on paper, but that's why we go to the movies, isn't it? Swinton and Miller make it work. Still, for all its romanticism, the film may also sit upon an uneasy foundation, the inglorious trope of the magical, mystical Negro. The term was popularized by Spike Lee, who in a lecture to Yale students over 20 years ago identified a trend exemplified in films like The Legend of Bagger Vance and The Green Mile, in which the powers belonging to black characters, often exoticized, seem to only be used to benefit white characters. You don't get a more literal depiction of master and servant than that of Genie and the person who released them, and here, the fact is that the jinn is black and the human is white. One could even argue that Elba's jinn exists outside of Ray somehow. Maybe, like Swinton herself once said, when faced with criticisms around the race of another fictional character, it can all be true. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Follow AP Filmed writer Lindsay Barr on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Barr.